The Tangent Egg podcast is aimed at a mature audience. It contains themes that are not appropriate for all listeners. It's important to note that we are not experts. We routinely have no idea what we're talking about and are just three idiots sitting around a table. Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome to Tangent Egg podcast. I'm Seth, and as always with me is Swoosh and Jondo.
Hi.
Hi.
And we're starting out this week with, well, as we often do, the depressing stuff as more people lose their jobs.
It seems to be a running theme in our beloved games industry at the moment.
Yeah.
Though some of them are very much that meme of putting a stick in their spoke and then complaining that they fell off their bike.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
one of them was Unity losing 25% of its staff.
Yeah.
35, I think it is.
Why.
Oh, 35.
I wonder what could have happened to cause that.
Yeah, I know, right? It's like maybe you made some kind of colossally bad business decision.
So Unity is a quarter of its workforce, 1,800 people.
Oh, there you go.
Oh.
On top of the 1,100 they laid off over the last year.
Oh.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
It's pretty rough time over there right now.
Jesus Christ.
Though
If
if you
remind
were
people what Unity got up to recently. What
if
was
you
their
were
big
still a Unity staff member, like you'd be looking over your shoulder, like,
Oh, yeah.
fuck, something's got to
Definitely.
be coming. Like, holy shit.
But what was Unity's big thing recently that they fucked up? It was the...
Oh, it was we're going to monetize based on
right.
installs.
Yeah, that was the one.
That was their big fuck up.
Yeah.
And everyone just
And
said,
then it was
"Go
a
fuck yourself."
non opt-in retroactive change.
That's
Yeah.
right, yeah. No, that was the big fuck you, and then everyone's like, nope, we're out. And
Yeah, pretty much.
and then
And
it's like,
Godot's
oh,
gone through the roof.
My favorite is when they have to like lay people off. It's so sad. We didn't realize this was going to happen. It's like, oh, you didn't realize your big shitty money grab was going to piss people off, so they go and find a different engine, and you have to lay people off. Your staff knew.
People were going to accept it and just do it, and
They were just going to give us money. Like, that's just all they were going to do. They were just going to give us money.
Things like laying off a quarter of your workforce as well is like the fastest way for the remaining 3/4 to start looking for work. Like
Ooh,
they're gonna
yeah.
start searching for
It's like,
anywhere else.
we weren't in this round, but we will most likely be in the next one.
They've started their
Yeah.
own death spiral, which is fucking hilarious. Like,
No, they started the death spiral, and it's not so much a spiral as a plummet.
oh, it's a
Yeah.
it's a nosedive. Let's see how basically like nosediving and spinning at the same time because they heard somewhere along the line spinning creates more force on impact.
I get the feeling it's something like someone's CEO at their office was wandering around the internet, found the speedrun category and went, is there a
We
speedrun
can do
category
that.
for killing a company?
Oh yes.
Like,
No,
what do you mean
they saw the whole
the current
thing.
holder is Wizards of the Coast with D&D.
Yeah.
We can do that.
No, that basically I was going to say, like, someone saw that and was like, hold my beer.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like a dive. Jesus Christ.
I mean, like you said, I feel sorry for the people who lost their jobs.
Oh, absolutely.
Sucks
They didn't
anytime.
deserve it. It's not them that caused this shit. Hopefully,
Yeah.
number one on that list that was fired was the fuckwit that came up with the idea in the first place.
You're probably not.
The only good thing that ever really comes out of these situations is a lot of people, when there's like a big mass expulsion from a studio, tend to band together to make indie stuff.
Yeah,
'cause
make
it's
their
already
own
a
studio or
predefined
go
thing.
on to other companies. Like,
Yeah.
I mean,
of those 25, like 1,800 people, how many of them will go on to work at Godot or any other free engines that are out
Yeah.
there?
Oh, absolutely.
I think that's more like what's probably
Yeah.
going to happen. If I was any of those competing... God, I'm good at words. If I was any of those other competing engine creators, I'd be snapping these guys
you'd
up.
have
You'd be
someone
parked
out
at the front gate. Yeah, you'd be parked at the front gate with a table and a sign-up board saying, "Here, hello."
Just like have a fucking old
I'm
school
sorry
bus
for your
behind
loss
you.
of job. Have an application.
Yeah.
I'm sorry for your loss of job. Have an application.
Oh, that would be great. Just rock up with a bus like, now taking this many people. Oh, it'd be amazing.
But, like-
generally, like, when this happens, we end up getting some really interesting indie stuff out of it.
Yeah, well, that's for games companies, absolutely.
Yeah.
Like, for this, you're working on a games engine, not so much the games themselves. So
True.
hopefully other free engine companies are going to get, like, a massive fucking talent kick up.
Yeah.
But, like, Unity lost a quarter of their staff, 1,800 people. Twitch is laid off 35% of its workforce, and that's just over 500.
Well, after the last
Apparently-
thing that happened with them, I'm not surprised. A few people got the axe. Like, their big policy change recently over tasteful nudity. That has caused a hilarious situation to watch. I'm not going to lie, it's been fucking funny.
Like,
The whole
Twitch
thing of,
has
like-
already been an OnlyFans gateway for a long fucking time.
Oh, it has, absolutely.
Like,
but
at some point, they just need to have a Pornhub spin-off.
They
Just
just
Actually,
need
the
age
dumbest-
gating. That's all they need. If they had age gating, this wouldn't be a fucking issue.
Yeah, but
for them.
those buttons, are you 18? They don't do shit.
No.
No, they don't, but it at least absolves any kind of responsibility from the company. It's like, they lied, it's fine. But it's one of those weird things, because I can't remember the actual chick who's been, like, pushing the envelope as far as she has.
Amaranth.
That's
Yeah.
the one. Fuck. I salute her, man. Like,
Hot tub met her into ASMR meta, and I don't know what shenanigans she's
she
up
now
to.
has, in the
she took
background,
a-
she's on a wobble board, one of those, like, vibrating exercise boards.
With
I can't remember
the
what
mirror behind. But
with
she,
mirror behind,
she
her
signed
own
a
fucking
contract.
name there.
She signed a contract with Kick to leave Twitch completely for
Yeah.
like a fuckload of money. It was meant to be for like a several-year contract. She took the money, then broke the contract after 6 months, went back to Twitch because she just didn't have the following. She didn't bring those people over.
People didn't leave Twitch. Like, they stay in one place, like ticks.
Yeah.
But even better is in the background of all that stuff. She has a mirror in the background. She has her Twitch name there, so because all her clips go viral and pop up everywhere. It's like, now you can find me, and there is a tiny, tiny inflatable pool next to her, so she can use the hot tub meta. Because that way she qualifies to be in the hot tub category.
Well, the hot tub meta basically crashed once they decided to have that category.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The whole point of it was the general audience click-through rate, not the creepos who specifically come to see you in a hot tub.
Yeah, like, I've been watching all of this unfurl mostly through Some Ordinary Gamers, like Mudaha, and just watching him have a fucking hilarious time. Like, look, this is fucking dumb. This is a fresh account, virtual machine, no background data, and porn. It's like,
Yeah.
it took me, like, 2 seconds to find it. It's on the front page.
All of one click through. Like, click on the browse section, and there it is.
Yeah. Like, just bite the bullet and have an 18+ category. Like, just do the thing. I know everyone's like, oh, we have an image. It's like, so? Shit's gotten more progressive now. If people pull out over this, then fuck them.
Yeah,
They can
but
find
the
more
problem is
advertisers.
because it's based at video games, you get a lot of much younger audience, so they really
true.
can't do that.
Well, it's one of those things, like, you just have to be 13 for a Twitch account, apparently. The minimum age for them is 13.
So there's no way in hell they can do that. Though they'd probably she'd probably get a much larger following if she just started streaming on Pornhub.
No, the thing is, like, she streams on OnlyFans, and it's like a bunch of them stream on OnlyFans because they all have their link trees in their Twitch thing.
Oh
It's like,
yeah.
you don't need to be on Twitch now. Just transfer to that system, be done with it, leave the very child-centric system alone, and continue on. It's fine. Move to Instagram or something else.
Yeah, but they want the click-through rate.
They do. Absolutely, they do.
But yeah, so Twitch losing 35% of their people. Like,
Yeah.
they
Honestly,
say it's
although-
because after COVID there aren't as many people following these video game things. Like, well,
Also, a part of like their current staffing was a projection.
yeah.
They basically guessed how much staff they need in 3 years, and apparently those projections didn't line up.
Yeah, I think they expected the extra interest from COVID to maintain. It's like, no, this is when a bunch of normal people were trapped indoors and had nothing else to do. Like, they didn't convert to our, way of doing things. They were just there until they could leave again.
Yeah.
Like, they're not going to stay. Like, few of them probably
Man,
did, but most of them would have
You
left.
guys
again.
weren't fucking kidding about opening up Twitch, so like, I haven't been on Twitch in ages.
Oh yeah.
I was like, I'll log into my account and just load it up and see what we got.
The only time I open Twitch is when we're streaming. Like, that's it.
I know, right?
That's been like 3 times in the last year.
But like, I follow a bunch of gaming things, so of course he tries to recommend me a bunch of gaming stuff. But like, front page, like not even scrolling down.
Yeah.
At least one of these is a girl barely in a pool ass center of the camera playing Beat Saber.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
That- You can't tell me that isn't like, if you clicked on that, at the very top of their fucking profile would be a link tree.
yeah.
You
Absolutely.
can
It'll be right
guarantee
there.
it.
The problem is, like, I know kids are dumb, sure, but the hub exists. If you're going to
Yeah.
Twitch for this kind of content, there's something going wrong there.
Yeah,
But
but
you don't
Twitch will
have
also
to-
get through a lot of like filters, family filters, because it's gaming related.
Yes, that is true. Although those filters are extremely easy to get around anyway.
Oh yeah, it doesn't take much, and any kid who's willing to muck around with it
Hell,
will
half
find
of them
ways
can be-
around it.
Yeah, half of them can be defeated by the incognito window, like, which I find
Yeah.
fucking funny.
Yeah. And the other half can be defeated by moving your DNS.
Yeah. It's interesting.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting like last time I was really using Twitch. Like there was it was just before the hot tub meta stuff started.
Yeah.
There was a lot of controversy about a lot of female creators getting away with like essentially ass cams. And now it's like it's
Just
front
straight
page.
out ass cam.
I didn't even have to
Yeah.
scroll down to get that.
The last time I was like actively checking around Twitch was back when a mate of ours, Twig, was still doing like regular streaming. I think she's getting back into it now, but that was a while back now. Where back then it was like just the low cut tops. And I was like, all right, that I get that. That's fair. But it's progressed from that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
All right, do we want to move on to something else instead of the depressing
Please.
state of
yeah,
Twitch?
let's laugh at another fucking idiot. That'd be great.
Well, unfortunately, the next thing on our list is not laughing at an idiot. It's the Australian government looking to crack down on supermarkets.
They
yes,
fucking
that's
need
true.
to. They needed to
They
have
honestly
last
do,
year.
yeah.
They needed to have at the beginning
Yeah.
of fucking COVID, saying
Yeah.
don't price gouge people that are already fucking struggling.
Oh, that's the horrible point of like Coles and Woolies here in Australia have been price gouging for a very long time.
But like, it's not just like the cost that we have to pay on the fucking shelf. It's also the
Yeah.
cost that they're paying the farmers for the goods and
Oh,
stuff
yeah.
is going
Yeah.
That
down
has
like
not
every
increased.
year.
yeah, like it hasn't increased. That's decreased every
Yeah,
time.
the price
They're
of groceries are
paying
going
less.
up. I've got some family that own farms that sell cattle and sheep and everything, and the price of them is on the floor. Like
Yeah.
some of them, they can't even afford to. Like in this area, there's a lot of orange trees. Quite a
Yeah.
few people I know sell to Coles and Woolies. They'll get more money if they pull those orange trees out and wait the 5 years and like plant almonds or fucking anything else and wait the 5
Yeah.
years before they get fruit off that, because it's worth more than selling oranges to fucking Coles and Woolies.
Oh fuck
And
yeah.
Coles
damn.
and Coles and Woolies are more than willing to ship the fruit in from overseas, from Mexico. They can get it cheaper than what they can buy them here. So why not fucking gouge the Australian farmer and screw everyone over?
Kind of hoping and waiting for like the farmers out rural ways to start diversifying their farms again and just doing local. Just going, you know what?
Well-
Fuck it. I'll sell all my shit local. I have like 2 or 3 orange trees. I have 2 or 3 apple trees, and just diversify that way, and go back to doing things like that.
Dairy farmers tried to do that down in Victoria. They tried to only sell local. So Coles and Woolies went down there and bought a fuckload of dairy farms and drove the price down on that as well, selling
Yeah.
local for fuck all.
Absolute
That's when you ended up with your $1 2 litre milks.
Like,
And so it screwed the entire industry over.
there should have been a check on them a long time ago, because
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
has been happening for a while. Remember back when we were kids and there used to be those ads for Coles and Woolies, like, look what you can get for $10 at Coles and Woolies.
Oh,
And it was like a full
there's-
fucking trolley. And now you can like maybe get a bag of chips and a drink, and that's it.
But there's a whole thing on TikTok and YouTube Shorts and all that kind of shit of people sending that up. It's like that feed your family for $10, and it's like they start the ad off, and then it's like what you'd currently get, and it's like a small bag of chips and a thing of sauce, and they've literally just upended the chips on the table and poured the sauce on it, and here's your $10 meal to feed a family of 4.
Like,
It's fucking hilarious.
to be fair, most of our generation is a family of one because we can't afford to have anything
Yeah,
else. So
but,
they're technically not lying.
A lot of those menus they go, or a lot of the recipes they tell you to cook, they now go back through and they get those exact same ingredients to see what they'll cost now. And
Easily
most of them
like,
are now
3 times more.
Yeah, most of them are $40 to $80
Yeah.
for that same
It's
meal.
insane.
Feed a family of 4 for $10. Yeah, it's fucking ridiculous.
There's very few small places left. Like, there are a couple of grocers in Brisbane that I go to which are not owned by Coles and Woolies, but
Yeah.
they're few and far between. Like,
Yeah, they absolutely are. You pretty much have to go to your local butcher, your local greengrocer, go to half a dozen shops, and that's yeah.
and they don't exist because I'm in a big city. Like, if you go back to places like, I used to live in country towns like Glendon and Thierry, Mackay, I would consider a country city. But they only really had Coles and Woolies, or occasionally an IGA. That's about it. There was never anything else. Like, all the local mum and pop shit has been destroyed by Coles and
Yep.
Woolies.
Yeah.
And like, there's nothing. Like, they've had a duopoly for a very
Yeah,
long
absolutely.
time.
Coles and Woolies, fucking oath.
And everyone's like, "Oh, we're not a monopoly, therefore you can't come after us." Like, yeah, but you are clearly communicating with
Yeah,
each other.
you're
and
a duopoly
fucking
that's
prices.
colluding. Like,
Yeah,
yeah, obviously fucking everyone over for yourselves.
because like, oh, we have Coles to go against, or we have Woolies to go against. We have to, keep competitive. Like, competitive means prices go down, not that you go further up and then
Yeah.
they match and continue on. That's not how this works.
Yeah,
The only competitor they have is Aldi.
Yeah,
yeah,
and honestly, like, Aldi is getting close to the same kind of like stuff at the moment. Like, I've been to an Aldi recently, and their prices have increased to a point where it's like, that's not just inflation.
yeah.
Like, you have a firm hold in Australia now because they're an offshoot of a UK brand or something.
They're German, aren't they?
German or UK? It's something in the European Union. I don't know that much. So it might be German. But they're an offshoot of that, and they came across here. And it's like, you've got a decent hold now, and I can see those prices creeping up because you see Coles and Woolies getting away with it. It's like, no. It'll take
read a
someone
thing the
being
other-
ripped out of the head office being strung up before they ever do anything, though.
Oh yeah, but I read a thing the other day. There was a European company. I can't remember where it was. They wanted a trial that if you were a greengrocer that was selling meat, you paid an additional tax on meat. If you're a butcher that started selling like onions and bread, you paid an additional tax on that onions and bread. You pretty much stayed in your lane. If you wanted to step out of that, and you had to pay an
to pay
additional
more.
tax on it. So it sort of forced it forced people to just be a greengrocer, or just be a butcher, or just be a bakery. It really fucked over large supermarkets because they wanted to be everything. So what are you? Okay, you have to pay an additional tax on your deli area, your meat area. Yeah, it was just interesting that it made them spread back out again.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, like, Coles, Woolies, Aldi, all those big ones, they tend to pay less rent in places.
Oh yeah,
they're considered
because
a
they
draw card.
they're guaranteed to bring people into a shopping center.
Yeah. Which is fucked, in my opinion, in certain cases, because that's not a cost they're cutting. Like that's, oh no, we're still going to factor that in as full rent, and we'll
Yeah.
put that back on the consumer. It's like, guys, you are making money hand over fist. You are again showing
Yeah.
record profits, and you're paying farmers less and destroying families because of it. Could you
Yeah.
at least pretend to be human again and give us something? Let people
Yeah.
live comfortably for once. But
Until the government says they have to.
Yeah,
Which,
but even then,
thankfully,
if,
they might be doing.
if something does happen and like Coles or Woolies shut down a shop, or they do fucking something, rural areas, if there's a Coles or a Woolies, you can almost guarantee there is nothing else. Like, there is
Yeah.
no butcher, there is no baker or green. Like, there might be a cafe that does some bread. There's
Yeah.
no greengrocer, there's no butcher.
Pretty much.
Like,
Like, if
that's
you go
it.
anywhere out of a major city, you are reliant on these people.
Oh, yeah.
Like, not even like just for the food, but they also tend to be high job, sources in the area.
Or they own the local fuel station. Or,
Yeah.
like, they got such a spread.
Yeah.
And then there's the whole thing of like, even if the government cracks down and says you have to make it better for essentials, that means that they then have to confirm what is essential and what becomes a luxury. So it's things like, oh, okay, we need like, fruit, veg, that kind of thing. It's like, all right, cool. Bread's now a luxury. Like, they'll change something. Something will be left out by the government because they can't think of every single thing. And they'll start price gouging whatever they have left.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be bad.
You'll end up with $30 bog roll.
Oh, definitely. Absolutely.
Good luck, COVID.
To be honest, there was a period where people were trying to sell bog roll for $30.
Oh, yeah. Because they couldn't return the shit.
Yeah. That was funny.
That was the funniest fucking thing, walking into Coles or Woolies and seeing people with, like, 10 bulk things of bog roll saying, I need to return this. Like, no.
Go fuck yourself. That I liked. That's the only thing I've ever found.
You beat out a small child to get those. You go wipe your ass with
Exactly.
them.
You go
Just
choke on it.
Just keep it. Just keep it there, and you'll never have to buy bog roll again, and you'll be happy. Like,
Yeah.
go for it. But, oh, fuck, that shit was...
Speaking of stuff that should be on bog roll, do we want to talk about what's been happening with NFTs?
Yes! The digital bog roll.
That's like a highlight of shit. You just keep wiping that thing, just keeps on coming.
Yeah. It's like wiping your ass with shit. It just somehow makes it worse every 5 seconds.
Yeah.
But, well, put it this way, NFTs are now so badly, like, they have such a bad rap that even Elon Musk won't touch them.
Yeah, so the big news that's happened is Twitter's essentially has reversed its thing of letting you have a special indicator that shows you've got an NFT.
Yeah. Which, I don't even know why that was a thing to start with, because
Because they were following a trend.
Muskie drunk the fucking Kool-Aid when it came to NFTs and crypto. Like, he was all in on that shit.
I don't know if I don't remember seeing any big articles about him being in on NFTs. Crypto, yeah.
Crypto definitely, but...
He was a crypto bro.
They always kept
he was
pushing...
fucking all over that.
Yeah. They always kept pushing NFTs as the next iteration of crypto. It's like, that's where it's going. It's like, no, it's not. Stop it.
It's clearly not. Not even the, like... what is it? The most currently expensive collection of stuff is Bored Apes, and they're not even worth what they were worth in 2022.
Absolutely, they're fine.
A lot of celebrities spent like millions of dollars to get those fucking JPEGs, and now they're not even worth 1/10 of what they spent on them. Like, holy fuck!
My favorite thing is the Wikipedia article for NFTs. At one point, had one of them as a picture. It's like, these are completely useless because you can just steal that image, like the one we've used here. Yeah. It's just the picture of, like, the primary Bored Ape everyone knows about. It's like, yeah, fair. But fuck, it's dumb. And we've been saying for... Now we can say we've been saying for years, NFTs are a scam.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because, like, they're just useless. Like, there were applications NFTs could have been used for, which were never explored, because they just went down this route instead.
Well, they found the cheapest thing they could do with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, just off the top of my head, just thinking of scams, a $48,000 Star Citizen pack.
Huh.
You mean their entry-level pack?
But
No,
you
this
can
is the
only
new
buy
one.
that if you've already spent over $1,000.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's not like that's not
You're
even
already
news to them.
hooked. Let's fucking burn you for more.
Yeah, like that's not even
The fact that they have a
new.
sub-store for their own whales.
Yeah. Like that's not even new, which I find
Like-
fucking weird because they had one which you could only access a specific ship if you'd spent a shit ton of money. Like I think it was like 10 grand or something. I was like, what the absolute fuck?
Holy fuck, that is a scam. Straight out.
And that's a game that still will randomly crash and take everyone with it every 10 minutes. Like, that game is fucked.
At some point, you got to say, right, no more additional features. We need to release something. Like, at some point, there has to be that.
No, there has to be one person in the boardroom. We have to release something in the background. You go, new ships? It's like, no, Steve, no more ships. Game. Like,
A
new
finished
ships.
game.
It's like
You
the,
watch it. They'll do that, and it'll be a mobile game. And don't you have phones? Or you can buy a phone. $50,000 phone. Star Citizen phone.
yeah, it's like the guy, the spaceships guy from the Lego Movie. Just spaceships. That's their entire animation department. That's all they do. They do nothing else. But God, I hate that game so much, and I've never actually played it.
I hate what it represents for the games industry.
Yeah.
Because it's, as far as a company is concerned, massively successful.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They're making money hand over fist. Like they're pulling money in from idiots hand over fist.
Yeah. What? We haven't even actually produced the product, and they're paying us $48,000 for it? I mean, why would you not keep the grift
The
going?
weird thing is,
Fucking
like, you
oath.
look at what they're doing, there's some other like, great games out there trying to hunt down their whale.
Editor Seth here. Unfortunately, we ended up having our first technical hiccup during recording. We did catch it nice and quick, so we didn't lose too much. And we quickly got things resynced and going again. So that's why things get a little weird here for a second. Alright, back to the show. Welcome to the weird bit of the podcast where we had to resync this bitch.
My bad.
Look, the fact that we made it 100 episodes without a major technical fuck-up is
Yeah.
amazing.
Well
And
done,
even then,
Swoosh.
it's a-
Congratulations.
Yay!
You've won our first technical fuck up.
Well, that is good. I had to have something. I haven't picked a bad book yet.
Bastard.
Your next one will be an absolute fucking
Oh,
stinker.
guaranteed. I have now cursed myself.
You'll need a whole COVID's worth of bog roll to get rid of this fucking stinker.
Oh, definitely. Absolutely. But yes, we're
So,
laughing at NFTs.
Our next one was the Nakon executive says the industry's problem is there's too many games.
No, the industry issue is the fact that you're not putting effort in, you prick.
Yeah.
Well, the thing he tries to point out is stuff like, you know, Robocop was really cool, it's really stylish, but it was a bit of a sales meh because it couldn't be seen. Well, it was a niche product.
It was,
Yeah.
it was
I
always going to be
played-
this product, yeah.
I played Robocop and enjoyed it, but I'm still like, I'm not recommending
You know what
this to
else
everybody.
didn't help that game? That first fucking trailer.
Oh, yeah.
If they was like, oh, it wasn't seen. It's like, no, it was seen, but what you showed people was
The
shit.
problem is it was seen.
And their other point is that, like, to try and stand out, some developers who shouldn't be are reaching way more than they should, a la the guys who made Gollum.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, if you reach too far and fuck it up, that's your fault.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That's not on the consumer, it's not on the market, that's on you.
No, that's a completely... You made this mess. Now you need to fucking lie in it.
And I mean, given how many fucking games come out that are, like, low-end, made with a game maker fucking engine,
Yeah.
like, fuck off. These games sell. There's studios that live off the money they make off these games. So clearly it's not, oh, you have to strive to be, you know, GDA if you want to succeed. No.
Like,
But,
we
like,
said it
make
numerous
something
times.
good and-
If it's a good story or if it's a decent game, then we will play it.
But how many games came out in the same week that Vampire Survivor released?
Yeah.
And that
Yeah.
game rose to the top.
Yeah.
So if you have a good product, people will buy your good fucking product. If you are trash,
Yeah.
you will sink.
I think that's what's got like a lot of the games industry pissy at the moment. It's like they're not buying the schlock we've made. Like, could we
Yeah.
try not making schlock and making something good? No. It's the other guys making good stuff. Fuck their day.
Or people making good stuff and then being like, oh, yeah, don't expect me to make that.
Yeah.
Look, I get
a la the
Bottled
Baldur's
Lightning
Gate
as a
3
thing,
argument.
Like, and I can just imagine the guys who made Baldur's Gate going, guys, do not expect the same level from the next game. It might be different. Like, you know, we could
And
have a
good luck
founder.
to
We
them.
don't
Try
know.
something different. But going off their fucking history of the same
Yeah.
style of game, it's gone level up, level up, level up. So
Yeah.
even if they tried something different, like, and it's not the same style of game, it's like, you can start at the ground floor. Like, holy fuck.
Oh, yeah.
I'd forgive you. Go for gold.
Pretty much, yeah.
Because I know you're
Like-
going to fucking have a crack at it, and if you do a game after that, it's going to be a fucking level up on it.
Yeah, like we know
Yeah.
you're capable of doing good things, but with there's so many big like AAA game market we've said for a while is shit, but or hasn't been as good as it used to be at the very least.
It's got some good stuff in it.
Yeah.
Problem is, so much stuff gets the effort put in the wrong place.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You know, look at something like Modern Warfare 3. The game looks beautiful. Like,
Oh, it looks pretty as fuck.
The guys who made the engine, great. Voice actors, fucking kill it. But it's such a formulaic meh
Yeah.
story that's incredibly short.
Yeah. No amount
That's the
of
problem.
The biggest problem with Modern Warfare 3 is that they didn't actually make, like, Modern Warfare 2 or previous Call of Duty games. They've made a separate map for each level of the campaign. They've done all of that, and it works really well. Modern Warfare 3, they just took the Warzone map and laid out missions on that.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
It was
okay,
so
this is even lazier than I thought it was.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
They
everything
didn't-
about it was lazy.
They didn't make anything original for the campaign. They made the campaign fit the Warzone map, and that was it.
Like, you know how everyone keeps saying, it's like, oh, it's just the same game with a different number? That really is what it was.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it was the meme.
It should have been like a campaign DLC for Modern Warfare 2.
Oh,
And that's it.
Even then, I wouldn't see that as a...
It should have been a
DLC.
free,
Yeah.
a free content update. And
Absolutely. It wasn't worth
not
it.
worth another $100.
Yeah.
Because that was what they were charging for the base version. In Australia, $99.95 for the base fucking version.
That's why I'm really hoping that there is a minor revolution happening within the games industries, where it's like, yeah, people are just going to start going for the games they want as opposed to AAA. Like, I will wait till they come on sale.
Yeah, freaking oath.
I'm not going to pick it up anymore.
There was a time there where it's like, holy fuck, like this next big game is coming out. I really want that next game. And you look, the more I played, it's like, fuck, more and more this is trash. So I've started to have to become more and more picky about what I choose to play, what I'm going to dump my money into.
Like
Because
the hype train.
Fuck.
Like, the hype train's always been shit, but lately, whoever's been marketing these games has to be snorting cocaine at a fucking high amount, because they make everything look amazing, and it's like, this is boring as fuck.
they need to not let marketing look at it until the actual game is complete.
Yes, absolutely. They don't get to touch it until the game is at least ready for launch. And then
Or
marketing
at
can
least
touch it.
playable.
Yeah.
At least fully playable in a roughly finished state. So they can say, this is the advertising of what you will actually be fucking doing.
Yeah.
Not
I'm
just,
honestly-
here's the thing that we think you'll do in the game.
Yeah. Or at the very least, like, show gameplay. I get cinematic trailers are amazing, and some companies like Blizzard have made some wonderful cinematic trailers. Do not get me wrong. But you also do need to show us gameplay, guys.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, we're not going to trust you anymore. Like, you have burnt that bridge.
Pre-renders are bullshit,
Yeah.
but so's the fake multiplayer with team chat.
Oh, I want them
damn.
to stop doing that. Like, just
Just
say, like, yes, it has
stop.
multiplayer. We're not going to pretend. It's fine.
Yeah.
Because I hate that shit. Because it's like, oh, we're going to do this like a comprehensive unit. Like, fuck off. Not a single group of nerds on Discord, including us, has ever been that fucking coordinated.
You might get
It's
someone
honest.
who is overly offensive, and then the rest of the time they don't talk. Like,
Yeah.
you play a multiplayer game and no one says a word because everyone's just doing their thing in the game.
Or
And
there's
if you're
some
with
prick
your
playing with the
friends-
walkie-talkie button just pissing you all off.
Or if you're with your friends, you're like, okay, we're all squatted up, we're being tactical, we're about to go and fight the boss, and one of them's like, grenade into the squad.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like, just turn around. I occasionally just randomly shoot my cohorts, because why the hell not?
Yeah.
Like, Portal
Shits and
has
giggles.
trained all of us never to trust anyone you're playing a game with.
Yeah.
That game was nothing but backstab your friends for
You
fun.
want to learn how much you can't trust your significant other? Play co-op Portal with them.
Oh, absolutely. It's like, now, if you move, I die. Yeah, I won't move. Backs away from everything. Like, but that's the current state of things, unfortunately.
I mean, speaking of Portal,
Yes!
That's a segue.
Portal Revolution. We brought this up on this month's Tangentinetic Might Play. If you haven't listened to it, please go listen to it. Yada, yada, yada. Engagement.
Promotion!
Things!
We do another show, and it's all about what games are coming out this month. And
You
one of the
should
ones
know
we
this.
brought
It's in
up,
the same place.
one of the ones we brought up this month was Portal Revolution, and it's a mod. So if you've got Portal 2, you can just download it and play it for free. It's on Steam. It's endorsed by Valve. It's fantastic.
It is absolutely amazing. Is it set as a prequel? Or I don't actually know where it's set in a timeline, or if it's just like, here's maps, go for gold.
I'm not sure, but I think it's pre-Portal 2.
I don't
Because Portal-
actually know.
There's
but
a point where I've gotten to where the AI core that's with you is talking about GLaDOS having been destroyed.
Yeah.
Okay, so at least it's post Portal 1.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which
But
is good. And
at no point did it reference like previous like jokes from Portal 1. Like I haven't seen on the wall is the cake is a lie. Like any of the classic jokes, it seems to have its own identity. And holy fuck, some of these puzzles are fucking hard.
Yeah. Oh.
Well, community
Like,
puzzles
I-
were always difficult. Like, I've played a few of the community ones, and Jesus Christ, people have like devious minds.
Yeah, but these are like hard
Deviously
in, like,
simple.
Yeah.
But they're, like, they're difficult in a way that's like it's challenging, but it feels like the tone is right.
Yeah. The tone is right,
It doesn't-
and it'll rack your brain right up until you look at it and go, what if I... Oh, fuck. And then it just clicks.
That is
I
the
had-
entire thing with Portal for me. Just, fuck, I've been here for 45 minutes.
I had one where I needed to get a cube into a certain area, and the only way to get it over there was with a flipper. But I couldn't figure out how to get it on there, use it, and get the other portal in the right place. Otherwise, it would go through one of the emancipation fields. And I'm just like, I couldn't figure it out. Then I'm like, wait a minute, I can turn the power off. That turns the flipper off. Which means I can just put the cube on the flipper while it's off, set everything else up nice and calm on my own time,
Yeah.
and then just turn the power back on. It'll automatically activate the flipper. I felt so stupid.
Yeah. Or there's
so
one there
long
where you
trying
have
to do
to... the beginning, you only get the blue portal. The orange portal is a locked position. And there's
It's
one
for like a good hour of game.
good
You've only got
fucking
it.
chunk of the game. And there's one where you press a button and it moves the position of the orange portal, and you got to bounce that backwards and forwards to move the cube. And it took me so long to realize that I can shoot the blue portal where the orange portal just was, and that solves so many fucking problems. And so the little cube bounces up and down as much as I need. Then I can just line up the blue portal where I want it, and like,
Nice.
Jesus.
Now you're thinking
They
of portals.
really feel like they actually were like advanced puzzles for a portal game.
Yeah.
Yeah, it very much feels like someone went through all the modded portal maps and curated an excellent, here's level 1, level 1, 2, and just curated their way through it and ramped the difficulty up for it. And holy fuck, have they nailed it.
Yeah. Like, well,
Very much so. And the humor is good.
Yeah.
that's the
It's fully
important part.
voice acted. There's I've actually met 2 personality cores now, and the voice acting is excellent on both. They have good jokes.
Nice.
I think one of my favorite ones was, if the world appears different, the emancipation field may have emancipated some of the light sensing cones in your eyes.
Yeah.
Alright, no, like, that's proper Portal humor, too. Like, at least they've picked up, like, make your own jokes in that same sphere.
Yeah.
So they're not relying on nostalgia to try and bait you. It's like, oh, look, we're talking about the cake being a lie. Aren't we edgy?
Yeah, they haven't rehashed the... Like,
They did make a cake reference, but they like destroy it immediately.
Nice.
Like, you get to a bit where you're supposed to celebrate, and he's like, I wish I had a cake for you, but I don't.
yeah.
Well, it's one of those things, like, but whilst the Portal games are masterpieces, I've loved both 1 and 2.
Yes.
By God, do I hate people who say the cake is a lie.
Oh, yeah. It got done to death and should have
Yeah.
died. Like, at the time, it was like, holy fuck, this is amazing. And it was the end of Portal 1. Holy fuck, that was a moment in gaming. Anyone who
Yes.
played the orange box and played that was like, wow, we've just experienced something. Like,
Oh,
I
yeah.
need to share this with people who know what I'm talking about, and here's an easy reference.
And we were at a video game uni when this happened.
Oh, yeah.
Like, we were spec'd to the right people for it, and then the problem was we were also surrounded by these people daily, and for the next 3 years, every conversation was involving the cake being a lie in some way, and you just want to slap people by the end of it.
But, like, even the references from it, like, Seth's ringtone, Are You Still There? Like,
Yeah.
it still has an impact on people. Like, anyone who hears that is like, Portal? Like,
Yeah.
Yep.
it's a known thing.
Another of our friends, Angry, has the Metal Gear Alert sound as his ringtone, and that still triggers me in my head.
Yeah.
I hear that, and my brain goes, hide. It's like,
Yeah.
what the fuck?
Where's the box?
I've Pavloved myself. What's happening?
Yeah, long and the short of it, if you've got Portal, do yourself a favor. jump on Steam, look it up, download it. It's not that big.
It's free.
Yeah.
It's free if you've got Portal 2.
It is absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
It doesn't have like the multiplayer co-op that Portal 2 did, but it is fucking amazing. It's made me want to go back through and play Portal 2 again, and I haven't touched it in
just like the
years.
fact it looks like they focused on a narrative this time, which is really good. Because if it had been anything other than an interesting narrative, it would have failed.
Oh yeah,
I mean, yes and no.
like there is a little bit there, like in that it's
there's
enough
the
to
story.
keep me going from map to map,
Yeah.
but it's not just map loading screen, map loading screen.
Yeah. Which is good.
Yeah,
It appears to be
Mostly
some
keep-
soul in it.
yeah,
It's the kind of thing where, like, when you're not solving a puzzle, you're having a fun dialogue with the AI
Yeah.
core, and it sort of bridges the gaps really well.
Nice.
Also, they spent a lot of time outside of chambers.
oh yeah.
Oh, that's good.
And like the
you're in the
sections between
backworks.
chambers, are, like some of those puzzles are just as fucky as the chambers.
I did
Yeah.
like that from because the Portal 2 did a bit of that as well.
Yes, it did.
Like walking around the waiting areas, like the Mantis Men was one of the ones that sticks in my head. It's like, welcome to the new thing. Unfortunately, we have like stopped the Warrior Mantis trials. We are now going to give you a gun, and you get to fight Mantis Men. Enjoy. It's like, yes, good times.
But
Glad
like
we never did that.
Yeah.
walking through some of the back rooms of it feels very like the SCP, like the back rooms,
Yeah.
like these
Yeah.
offices, like
Yeah.
things should be happening in these offices. Like you can see he's a workstation, but it's like there's only one way in, and it came from a fucking testing chamber. Like,
Yeah.
how did people work here? Like
Yeah.
some of it was a
Yeah.
little weird, but it's fucking great and it fits really well.
I don't know about you, but some of those areas, I get a bit of a not supposed to be here vibe.
Yeah,
which is
very much
fucking
like
great.
like
not
this is
just it's
looking
an
from the
office
other side
area.
of the looking glass.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which I like that though. It's fucking interesting.
Yeah,
So-
I mean, given the fact that it's a mod, they really leaned into it, and like, there's a lot of stuff where you're like breaking out of chambers and doing other random shit, and then busting back into another one.
Though
Nice.
there's a puzzle or a secret in there that I've found a couple of pieces of, but I don't know what it does or where it references anywhere. Because I found a few computers that have got please insert disk with a disk drive right next to it, and then I found a disk in a later room and taken
Yeah.
it back to it, and it takes the disk, the light turns green, but nothing else changes. So I don't know if that's like chase and achievo or something actually happens, or if there's just so many you need to find for collectibles or whatever.
Good
But-
day.
Given the fact it's made by mods, it could just be the fact that you put that in, and now like 20 levels later, you'll find like, an outcome for it. But
Yeah.
God knows.
It was weird because I found it's like, what's this gonna do? Is it gonna like give me a bit more lore or something? It's like, nothing happened. Why does that
Would
feel
be-
weirder?
Would have been funny if it started playing like the solitaire fireworks.
Yeah.
That's all it does.
But yeah,
Oh, it'd be
no,
great.
highly recommend. Anyone in a portal, give it a crack.
Oh, definitely.
We want to get on to our last big topic of this week,
The
Yep.
meat and potatoes.
because this week is Book Week.
Yeah, this was a good book
No.
week.
It was surprising.
Yeah.
Honestly, I thought
So-
this was going to be my flop, and then it worked out pretty well.
I didn't think it was going to, simply because of unique setup. So
Yeah.
we read Dungeon in the Clouds, which was very interesting. I actually really liked it because the idea of, like, you know, human becomes a core and they're the core of a dungeon.
Hmm.
And then it's like, okay, so how does that work? And then, like, in the world, people don't know dungeons are sentient.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They
'Cause
think
they-
fairies that look after them are just really
they
exotic gods.
like dungeons are plants. Like they just grow and they, that's all they think of them as.
Which was really interesting because, like, there's all this talk that the main character has with this fairy about, like, how to make a good dungeon.
Yeah.
Like, it can't just be massively lethal. Like, people won't do a lethal dungeon, and you need them to do it. Because he gets EXP for people clearing certain bosses or getting TPKs.
Also, he
and
gets
stuff.
EXP for people regenning their mana.
yeah.
So if they stop and like they burn through a fuckload of mana and they actually need to stop and regen it, he gets part of that mana back. He gets XP for that as well. It's like by putting him in a sticky situation. So you
I
don't
just
want to
like
be
the fact-
completely kill him quick. Yeah.
Yeah, I like the fact that he became he was a mistake dungeon. He was an error at the start because they're like, this is not a situation that this system was designed for. Congrats, you're in a cloud. And they basically go through a bunch of like literal sysadmin commands to try and get things to work for him until they have to ping a dev. It's like,
See, that's actually probably the one thing I don't like about this book series. It seems to be implying that it's all the video game.
Yeah,
Kinda,
that there's an
yeah.
overarching dev.
but at the
And
same
there's-
time, they talk about this like there are people who have been isekai'd in that setting.
Yeah, I know.
And it's like they actually reference Truck-kun, which I find rather fun.
Yeah, that was.
That made me giggle.
But like, if that was just something in the story, that'd be interesting. But it's this idea that there's some kind of admin that can patch the system.
Yeah.
That it's like, is this a game? Like, is this
Yeah.
just an elaborate MMO and the guy doesn't know it?
They do
Or some
mention
shit.
Earth being in a place where the system just can't reach it. And it's like, all right,
Yeah.
kind of
I
makes sense, but
Don't understand. Like,
Yeah.
it's the only bit of the book that I didn't like. The rest of
Yeah.
the story, everything's great. Love all the characters. Love the dungeon design. Rooting for all these crazy monsters to succeed.
yeah.
It was great, and the fight scenes are wonderfully described. I loved it.
And I do like the traps that he builds. Like
The hot springs, my favorite.
the hot spring.
I'm
Oh, yeah.
stealing that
was
for a D&D
brutal,
game.
but
Yeah.
God damn, that's such a good trap.
No,
Though-
I'm honestly stealing that for a game as well.
The quick little slime, the voice of that just annoyed the shit out of me.
Oh
Yeah. Vex does get.
Wasn't
I could have done
vexing.
without that.
Yeah. I couldn't understand it half the time.
Yeah.
Which is
They've just pitched the voice up, made it more like a chipmunk, and then sped it the fuck up.
yeah.
And
So,
if
like-
you're listening to it on any form of higher volume, turn it the fuck down. As soon as they reference Vex, just turn it down.
Try listening to Vex when you listen to your audiobooks at 1.6 speed.
Oh,
Yeah, no, I had that issue. I listened to it at like 1.5 as well, and it's just like, fuck, I have to turn this down because Vex.
that's
is
just a
talking.
fucking dog whistle. Just
It, honestly, the
Some of the
first time
scenes.
was. Oh, but apart from that, like, the characters are fun. I do like the fact they had a in-universe reason why dungeons couldn't just start murdering people.
yeah.
It's because the Adventure Society will just raid the dungeon and kill it. Like,
Yeah.
they'll take
Unless you get an asshole Dungeon Society person who just decides, you know, fuck it, I don't like this one, let's kill it anyway.
Yeah, that was fun, actually.
In which
Carl.
case it's just,
Carl
fuck it, I'm
Friend.
lethal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was entertaining. I really liked the world they built there, and I'm kind of
Oh,
keen
yeah.
for more, to be honest. Like,
Man. I don't think we've got any info on when the next book's... No, we don't.
No,
Which confusing.
unfortunately, it's
Even
gonna
got
be-
pre-order
Though,
yet.
like,
slow one.
it did annoy me, like, from... He gets an ability right at the start that lets him go down to the ground for people to be able to run him, and then it gets forgotten about for the rest of the book
Yeah.
until right
Yeah.
at the fucking end. It's like,
When he needs to
oh
murder
no,
a dude.
they're coming. Okay, shut the door, let's float the fuck away. Solved.
I do like the fact he actually admits, I was like, fuck, I forgot I could do this. He's like, oh, shit. That thing I can do.
I do like that his minor spoiler for something toward the end of the book. Murks a dude by just floating into space.
Yeah.
And having him die from hypoxia.
Yeah, that was entertaining. The fact that he gets sharks with laser beams.
But that was when you got tipped off that the fairy was an isekai.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because two other ones
You got
walk
the
in
freaking sharks with the freaking lasers.
My favorite thing is, like, they also realize, because there's two isekais in a party that keeps coming back every so often. And the guy who says, like, it's freaking lasers, or freaking lasers, like, you know, sharks with laser beams on their heads. And she responds, forgetting that she's invisible and not meant to be talking to parties. And he's like, wait a
Yeah.
minute, you know that reference. It's like,
Yeah.
oh no.
Or
Oh,
when
oh,
the
no.
fairy offers a favor and in return wants 5 pizzas. Like,
Yes. 5 Chicago
Yeah.
deep dish pizzas. That was fun. Like, that and the concept of other dungeons being evil. Like, one of the ones that keeps getting hinted at throughout the way, you get bits and pieces of it, is just a dick.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
he forces his fairy to be wearing, like, peasant garb at all times, and he's like, you must call me master,
Yeah.
and all that kind of shit. It's like, what
Yeah.
the... That's fucked.
Yeah.
But entertaining, though.
I am absolutely on board for book 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whenever it gets done, like, yeah, give me book 2. I want to know more. I want to see more from this series.
Yeah.
I don't know
And,
if it's a Royal Road, if there is more out there, just hasn't been turned into a book, or what. But yeah,
I think
I'm looking forward to it.
But honestly, like, I've taken a lot of stuff from this to apply to D&D games at this point. Like, the idea of dungeons being sentient is actually kind of fun. And I'm happy to throw that at players. Just to see what they do.
Like, that whole thing, like, detect trap, and they detect the magic in the trap. Having a trap that isn't magical is just gold. Like, that whole hot spring, like, changing the buoyancy of your enemies so they'll still float in it. Like, that's fucking brutal.
The chick he gets with at the start, because she's like swan dives into it.
Oh yeah,
because the entire
doesn't just cannonball like straight out.
Like, he makes the entire dungeon Arctic, and they have like that one little hot spring. Oh, it's gonna be so good when we're leaving. It's like, none of you are gonna fall for it. Come on, you've got a rogue with you. At least test it. Like, nah, swan dive in. Fucking go for it.
Well, that's the thing. Like, the rogue would be like, water.
Yeah.
There's like, there's no magic here. It doesn't trigger any trap sense.
Also, I love the fact that the mobs in that room are hot spring monkeys.
Yeah.
Just hot spring monkeys. I love them. And accidentally creating a gold tier or a silver tier slime? Yeah.
Slime, yeah.
Because it's like, oh, your first time making a boss mob. Do stuff. It's like, I'm going to put in some of this really rare, weird mineral I have and see what happens. And it turns into a silver mob. It then tries to eat him.
Yeah.
Like, It was fun. Like, it was interesting enough to keep my attention at the very least.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Like I said, great book. Very much looking forward to...
I have questions about that world, though, because one of the Dungeoneering characters, V, eventually switches from being a warrior class to a caster class with no apparent issue. Halfway through, I was like, "Yep, I've switched." Like, how did you do that? Like, did you respec? What was done?
I don't really care that much. They're just like, because the adventurers are more side content.
Yeah, like it didn't break me out of the illusion or anything, but it's just one of those things. Like, how though? And then she becomes a cryomancer and has paradoxical undressing, which is fucking funny because that just reminded me of Fairy Tale.
I feel like it makes sense because like her skin's blue and she's really cold to the touch.
Yeah.
It's sort of like that hypothermia thing where people feel like they need to take all their clothes off.
Which I think is called paradoxical undressing. I can't remember.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, but it's like... it just reminded me of Fairy Tale. Grey from that was always fun.
Yeah. And I like that, like, when she's outside of a dungeon, she's got to wear, like, a cloak.
Yeah.
Inside a dungeon, she is wearing a battle bikini.
Yeah. So the point is, like, it was like, that doesn't make... No one makes these. And, like, they just have a smith in the group. Like, yeah, no, I had to make that. It's because they have
good book.
Their makeup is the babyface adventurer, the silver level smith who's running them through things as a guide, a cryomancer orc who lost her friend to swan diving into the no buoyancy pool.
And then is quite excited when that same friend's face turns up on a boss monster. It's like, this is now my home dungeon. I'll come see my friend every day.
This is amazing. I can see it whenever I want. Then there's a chick who's not... She doesn't quite control lycanthropy, but she can kind of control it. And the guy who heals with death mana.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, how? How did you do this? And it's not pleasant.
Like, he eats corpses to get his mana back.
Yeah. And it's also
I just kill the
fun.
sickness.
Like, being healed by him is not fun. Like, it is grotesque, and I love it.
He's my favorite version of the pain healer.
Yeah. Like, you'll feel your bones reknit, and at which point, like, he uses, he heals someone's, like, infection with maggots. I was like, that's terrifying. I love this.
Yeah.
This
the one where he has to get, like, force, like, mana into them, and it's basically just black sludge.
Yeah. Oh god, he was an interesting character. I quite
like he's great. I love like the entire adventuring party's great. I love them. They're really fun. They add a lot of fun spice. The fact that the main character Kurz, who's the dungeon, likes them.
Yeah.
So he kind of wants to design things that might lure them back.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think we can say any more about this book without actually like doing a
ruining parts of the book.
Pretty much. Like, it is most definitely worth the time
Yeah,
if you
I
have it.
definitely think the whole squad here heartily recommends.
Yeah, it was good.
Dungeon in the Clouds.
Look, I can't speak for the rest of you, but I'm waiting for the second installment. Like, I'm
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't
No, I
read a
want
lot
that.
Mm.
of the books where it's like you get isekai as an alternate object. Most of the ones
Yeah.
I've read is like, you're a person, you're now a person. This is probably the first one I've read where you're now a different object completely. And I've thoroughly enjoyed it. I'll actually be looking
Yeah.
for more books of this style.
Well, I found this accidentally when I was listening to Reincarnated as a Demon Tree and Fleabag.
Also, are incredibly good books.
Yes, and we've got a new one of the Demon Tree coming out next month.
Yeah. So if you're into Demon Tree,
'Cause that's a
book
Royal
2
Road
comes
one as
out on
well.
the 14th of the second zone.
Yeah. Honestly, like,
Been
this is
over a
getting to a
month.
point where I might just start going on Royal Road to see what's out there.
yeah.
I don't know.
have
I
not
kind of
hated any
enjoy
of this stuff.
the
I
the
think
Raiders
it's
and
only the
stuff are
cream that
bringing
really
it to
comes
life.
to the top makes it to Audible.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I
No,
dare
that's
say
fair.
Royal Road's got a lot of trash as well.
Oh, most definitely. It reminds me of like Wattpad essentially, but instead of being fan fiction, it's just minor elit stuff. But yeah,
So, I believe it's my pick for the next book,
it is.
and
What horrors are you
I've picked
thrusting on us?
a book by an author we like that, oddly enough, has the same narrator as from Dungeon in the Clouds.
Oh, score! I liked his one.
And I've chosen Dead Tired. It's by the same author who did Stray Cat Strut, a book series we all quite enjoy as well.
Oh no, we can
Which
definitely
means-
say we love that one. It's fucking.
So before we read it, because I don't think any of us had, what's the bet there's a random sex scene?
Oh, I that's easy money. Like, absolutely they will be. And it's going to be right at the end again. Or
Yeah.
dead in the middle when you can't skip it.
So, here's the publisher's summary for Dead Tired by Raven's Dagger. In the distant past, a time of magic and swordplay, there lived Harold, the mightiest lich of all, master of arcane sorcery, and challenger of the gods. After reaching the pinnacle of his power and finding it surprisingly bland, Harold waged a cataclysmic war against the gods, aiming to shatter their very system that confined him. Then he took a nap. An incredibly long nap that ends with a jolt thanks to an unwitting adventurer who trips into Harold's crypt. Blinking in the torchlight, Harold finds a world he barely recognizes. No more swords and sorcery, but a universe buzzing with cultivation, celestial sex, and far too many pretentious dialogues about the path to godhood. Harold is no naive cultivator. He is an ancient lich with a single ambition: to slide back into his uninterrupted slumber. By the cacophony of quarreling sex and smug martial artists seem determined to keep him awake. Undeterred, the sleep-deprived overlord is ready to confront this brave new world. After all, no aspiring deity, no grandiose sect, and certainly no self-righteous martial artist is going to rob him of his beauty sleep. I read that summary, and I was
Yeah.
like, this is a millennial.
And then you find out after the fact it's the same guy who wrote Stray Cat Strut.
Yeah.
That was a fun way of things. But I just like the idea that he went to bed in Sword and Sorcery and woke up in a kung fu flick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's amazing to me. He slept through a genre change.
Yeah, pretty much. I just love that the whole idea is he wants to fuck these guys up. Why?
Yeah.
Man, I was asleep. Fuck
It's just
off.
that he has really loud neighbors, and he just has to go and get rid of them, and then he can go back to sleeping.
Yeah.
But I'm keen. I like this guy's stuff. Stray Cat Strut is always great.
Yeah.
Better when you can skip the weird, extremely explicit sex scenes at times. But yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah. Otherwise, it's great. Last book was really good. Book 5 of Drake and Strat was great.
I'm
Um,
a bit behind.
Yeah.
I still need to finish that one. But
it's good. Highly recommend.
well, it's
You'd have
how
to
I
jump the
found
shark
this
yet.
one, because we had our preamble, and I was downloading Stray Cat Strat 5. I'm like, oh hey, he's got a new one.
And I'm like, yeah, we're reading it.
Neat! I've already bought it. Oh, no, I'm interested to see how he does with a more fantasy cultivation style as opposed to his normal tech kind
Yeah.
of thing.
Yeah. I mean, we're still dealing with some kind of, I'm guessing, a point system because
Yeah.
they're cultivators.
It would not
Um,
surprise me.
So it's not too far out of his wheelhouse, but I think the more interesting thing is like it's not like the style is a lot different. It seems like it's going to be a little more magic focused, as you say, not tech.
Yeah.
And I'm more interested to see how like he blends that together instead. Because I like the way he blends the system with the tech in Stray Cat Strut.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
I'm curious to see how it goes here.
And it's things like cultivation worlds are actually really interesting. Like ever since I read the Demon Tree one, I've actually been finding more cultivation world books popping up.
I found them like they're definitely I like the lit RPG thing.
Yeah.
But I find the cultivator version of it more engaging.
Yeah. Because it doesn't feel as much as the system interfering.
Yeah, you've got to work for your upgrades, not just I beat up a bunch of slimes and got the EXP.
Yeah, because 10 Realms was technically a cultivation one.
It was sort of a blend between them because they had XP and leveling, but you also had to cultivate to get certain aspects of it.
Yeah, you got like bonuses for cultivating and
which is fair.
Yeah. Man, it kind of shows how much that book series impacted us, given the fact
absolutely.
that we
Considering
was
like
the
we didn't
first
know,
book.
yeah, we didn't know that like lit RPGs existed before this. Until that one, it's like, fuck. All right.
Like the first few books of that, holy fuck, they're an excellent fucking gateway into this whole genre.
They really are.
Oh,
They go down a hill pretty quickly after a little while. But
he gets lost, I think, and
I think he just
around
runs
when
out of
they-
ideas.
Yeah. Once they hit about the 6th realm, it's like, yep, you run out of steam.
Yeah.
Which fair.
Let
that
alone
point
when
was
they
6
actually
books.
get to the 10th realm and ninth realm. And it's like, yeah, you didn't have any ideas left.
Yeah. I don't think he planned anything past the 6th realm. He's like, I'll get to it when I need to. It's like, and then it just kept getting closer.
Yeah.
Which is
I think that's why there's some weird two-parters where they like advance and then they get kicked back to realm 1 again and
it was
restart.
because it was like 6th realm. I think they went there for like 2 days to get drunk and then spent the rest of the time in the 5th and 1st realm.
Yeah.
Like it was very strange.
It's weird. Oh, like I think in the 6th realm's also the one where like everything's connected by a dungeon.
Yeah.
It's like, well, that's a cool concept. How would a realm work if its entire network is connected by this like Uber dungeon?
Yeah.
Oh, we're not going to talk about it.
Yeah.
Like, but
We're going to do one thing here, then never talk about it again.
Yeah. Which was like normally they would clear out an entire realm and then move on, or like explore at least some of it, like some aspect which was in depth. But we didn't get that with anything from 6 onwards.
I mean, that was when he also started to power tip, so...
Yeah, that is true. They started getting a bit too big.
But that also meant, like, anytime they had to fight someone, they had to be that much more powerful than them, and it was like, this isn't working.
Yeah.
You know, it's absolutely classic power creep problem. You know, anyone falls to it if they run at something for too long.
Yeah, especially since these guys started with guns in a medieval setting, and there's not really
Though,
much you can go up from
like
there.
if they kept that like leveled, like if they hadn't gone the whole gunsmith uber weapons, like that would have been an interesting take. Like if they didn't end up with a system and they just had to try and use like tactics to fight their way through a system without having the system, that would have been a completely different story, but would have been fucking interesting as well.
Yeah.
Or even better, once you get to a certain like power level, that's when you start bringing in like things like tactics or that kind of stuff more heavily, where it starts to become more evident, because you can't just rely on one big guy to punch things.
I'm not entirely sure the guy who wrote those books... I don't want to say anything about his background or anything like that, but I don't think he knows that sort of tactics build.
Yeah.
Because they lightly do it at the start when they're relying on the guns, but as their guns get augmented by magic, it just becomes magic.
Yeah.
And then it just starts becoming
Fuck tactics.
Yeah. Basically, it's an au revoir.
Yeah.
But,
But yeah, so Dead Tide, the book we're actually reading, not 10 Realms, the book we've already read. Yeah, that'll be our one for this month. I hope you choose to read along with us.
if not, we'll probably spoil the ending for you. It'd be great.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
No on us.
If
Look,
you
you've
do,
got a
let
month
us know.
every time.
Comment somewhere.
Yeah, you have a month this time.
All right, that's us out past an hour. So I think that'll wrap us up for this week. Y'all have a good one.
Bye.
See ya.